Okay, this is how to play the game Manticore. It's a game for exactly 3 players, and it uses a custom deck of 47 cards. And the cards are a little unusual, so I'll explain what's going on. So the card has a suit, it has a rank, and then it has this bar up at the top, which is called its color. And I'll get into why that's important, but it's a climbing shitting game. And the way it's going to work is first we're going to shuffle these cards and we're going to deal out 15 cards to each player. Okay, so I've gone ahead and dealt out 15 cards to each player. Obviously, in a real game, you would not have all of the hands visible, but I put them faced up so we can see what's going on here. And so what's going to happen first is there's going to be a round of bidding for the right to be the declarer. The declarer is going to play against the other 2 players. Now, the hook of this game is that one player will be playing only sets, one player will be playing only flushes, and one player will be playing only runs. So that means, so sets, for example, is going to be 2 cards of the same rank, like that, or 3 cards or 4 cards of the same rank. Flushes are going to be 2 or more cards of the same suit. So for example, this would be a flush because it's 3 cards and they're all that same scarabee suit. And then runs are a little bit tricky. They're cards that are ascending in rank and which have the same color of bar at the top. So that's what those gray, white, and black bars at the top will be. So these 3 players would bid for the right to be the declarer, who gets to choose what their type of meld they're going to play is going to be. So let's say you can bid 1, 2, or 3, and you have to say what kind of meld you're shooting for. So let's say this person looks at their hand and they think, I've got a pretty good set hand, I've got those 3 9s, and they bid 1 set. Now this player has to bid at least 2. They look at their hand, they say, you know what, I've got a pretty good run hand, but I'm not going to bid 2 for that. And then this player here says, you know what, I've got a good sets hand too. I'm going to bid 3 sets. Now they've bid 3 sets, and that's the highest bid. No one can bid any more. They're the declarer. These 2 players are going to be playing against them. So the declarer gets the 2 cards that were over on the side. They get added to their hand. Nothing gets discarded. They just play with a larger hand. And now this player, because they're left to the declarer, has to say what they want to play with. They can't play sets. So maybe they look at their hand and they say, okay, I'm going to do flushes. And then this player is left with playing runs, which is actually great for this player because that's what they wanted in the first place. So I'm going to go ahead and rearrange these 2 hands. Okay, we've gone ahead and rearranged these hands, and this one is now sorted by suits, and this one is now sorted by valid runs. You can see that these are both actually pretty strong hands, so this player is going to have a tough time of it, because you can either play 1, 2, 3, or 4 cards when you play a meld, and 4 cards is a bomb, which can be played over any other type. We'll get to that in a minute, but both of these players have a bomb. This one has this bomb here in the Beatles, a low bomb, and then this player here has the 3, 4, 5, 6 bomb right there. So that's going to make them pretty hard to beat, but the declarer is going to go ahead and start us off. So they have a bunch of singles they're going to try and get rid of, so maybe they start off playing this low 1. Now the other players have to follow by either playing a single or they can bomb in at any time. This player here is playing flushes, which means they have some singles here. So this 2 is a single. There's no other card with that same suit. So they play that. It has to be higher than the highest card in the previous meld that was played. This player here has some singles over here. They're going to play their lowest one, which is the 4. Then back to this one here, still trying to get rid of singles. They can't play that 3, so they're going to have to go up to maybe... that's slightly out of order there, fix that. I'm going to play the 7. And then back to this player here. They're going to play, they don't have a, oh, I guess they could play this 9. Maybe they want to stop it and play a 10 though. So 10 is the highest value. It goes from 1 to 10. There are only 2 10 cards. This player has to pass or bomb. They're not going to bomb over their partner. This player has to pass or bomb. They don't have a bomb, so the trick is over, and this player is going to lead to the next trick. So they're going to take a look at their hand, and they're going to say, maybe they're going to play pairs. Get rid of those pairs. Then it's over to the runs player. The runs player doesn't actually have any pairs that are higher than that, so their highest number would have to be highest than the number in the previous one, so their only pair is this 1, 2. They could break up a bomb or another set, but they probably don't want to. But this player definitely has some higher pairs than those 3s, so maybe they're going to play 4s. These 3s, incidentally, they happen to be the same rank, but they don't have to be the same rank for the flush player. They just happen to both be the same rank and the same suit. This player plays 4s, so back to the flush player. They're going to go ahead and play this 7, 9. Again, this player is not going to break anything up. It would have to be higher than a 9 or a bomb. We already have seen 1 10 out, and there are only 2 10s, so this player could only bomb in, and they don't have a bomb, so they have to pass. So back to this player, maybe they're thinking, I need to get rid of some of these low singles I have, so plays this 4, this player plays their 6, back to this player, they want to get control again, so they play the 10. This player says, nope, not having that. They're going to go ahead and bomb. This player passes, because this player doesn't have a bomb. And so now they want to figure out what to do. So they're going to play a 5, another single. This player here, maybe they don't want to play on top of their partners. Maybe they just pass. This player is desperate for control because remember they said that they were going to shut out first. They declared against the other 2 players. So they're playing that 9, get right out there. This player has to pass. So now this player is looking at their hand, trying to figure out what to do. They know this player only has 3 cards left, so they say, all right, well, let's play some triples. Pass. They don't actually have a higher triple, so that was good for them. However, this player has lots of higher triples, so they're going to play this 6, 7, 8. See, 6, 7, 8, ascending numbers, and also all of those colors match. And then it's over to this player. They don't have a set that's higher than an 8. They have an 8 set, 3 8s, but they can't beat the 6, 7, 8 because 8 is the same as 8. So they are forced to pass, which brings it over to this player, who is going to do, what should they do? Maybe they will play this 1. And this player here is really kind of struggling there. They're going to go ahead and play that 8, hoping that this player doesn't have a 9. Unfortunately, this player has a 9. Pass, pass. These get cleared. This player plays a pair. This player, well, it doesn't matter at this point because this player is shut out. So the declarer lost, which means both of these players are going to score the points that the declarer bet. And that is basically how you play Manticore. You shuffle the deck, deal it out again. There's another round of bidding, and in the next hand, you'll be playing a different configuration of flushes, sets, and runs across the 3 players. Great.